I chose to interview Ocala, Florida's Fifth Circuit Judge, Steve Rogers. I chose to interview him because I am currently aspiring to be a lawyer and then a judge, and am studying criminology here at the University of Florida. I knew he could give me some helpful advice on leadership based on his current leadership position in the courtroom and his past positions as a lawyer, teacher, and writer. I know him because he is my best friend's father, and I have watched 2 of his trials in the past year. I emailed him asking if I could interview him, and he responded yes. I met with him in his chambers in Ocala, Florida, and conducted the interview there. During the interview, Judge Rogers was very charismatic and comical. I know that being charismatic is a great trait that leaders have, according to the charismatic leadership theory. However, he knew when to be serious at the right times, which in my opinion is great for effective leadership. He was also extremely respectful, which I was happy to observe because respect was a trait he strongly emphasized during the interview. According to him, he treats everyone with respect when running his docket, and his main goal is always to treat others with respect. He deals with issues in very respectful ways, and this was exemplified through when he told me that he isolates any incidents and does not chastise attorneys and waste time. I could tell he is a great leader because he truly can walk the talk. Lastly, I perceive Judge Rogers as a very empathetic person, even in a professional setting. In his court, most people are there because something bad is going on in their lives. Understanding that is his first step in trying to help these people through their difficult times. He also ensures that people understand the reasons that he made his decisions, and he himself tries to gain understanding with his decisions, not agreement. Judge Rogers mentioned very many leadership characteristics in the interview. Some of these leadership characteristics came out via direct questions, such as, "What are 3 leadership characteristics you use in the courtroom?" Others came from indirect questions. The first characteristic he emphasized was listening. Listening is a trait from servant leadership. He said that it is important to listen to all of the issues and arguments presented, and that it is important to move towards a resolution without debating any issues. To me, and to him, listening is important in leadership because followers will follow when their viewpoint is acknowledged and their perspectives are validated, not debated. He also mentioned being considerate and aware of others. He stated that he must be aware of any special issues or needs for everyone involved in the case, including court reporters, jurors, attorneys, etc. This reminds me of how leaders need to tailor their leadership to the needs of the followers, and leaders must be aware of the needs of everyone. Judge Rogers told me that he also believes staying on schedule is very important in leadership. Staying on schedule and being on time shows that leaders care about their time with the followers and that they want to keep that time as effective and productive as possible. Through indirect questions, Judge Rogers also revealed some other leadership characteristics. He greatly emphasized 4 more traits: doing what is best, confronting issues, never compromising your morals, and communication. He told me that he often has to make unpopular decisions, and that doing what is best for the group isn't always the favored decision of the majority. Even though he says he does this because it is part of his job and is required by the rules and precedents set by the American court system, it rings true to great leaders. They must make decisions that are best for the goal and for the group, even if some followers aren't happy with it. Ultimately, this is the correct and fair thing to do. He told me that if he made a decision based on the majority and not what is truly right or fair, he would lose his credibility. He said that when leaders lose their credibility, they lose their ability to effectively lead others. This is extremely true, because when followers do not find their leader credible anymore, they will not trust him or her and will not listen to him or her. I really liked how Judge Rogers also talked about confronting issues right away. In leadership, this is crucial because if you do not address problems right away, they could turn even bigger or create issues with followers. He said that he doesn't wait for the right opportunity to address uncomfortable issues, and he addresses issues right away and with honesty. This prevents more problems from rising and clears the air, instead of leaving any uncleared air. He believes that it is very important to stick to your morals and ethics as well. He told me that attorneys will often compromise their ethical responsibilities for the competition for clients and money. As well, He told me that judges will get black robe syndrome, where they are arrogant and think they are better just because of their title as judge. In leadership, leaders must stay true to their values so they don't undermine their role. As well, it's important for leaders to be humble, because no one really wants to work with someone who is arrogant just because they know they are in charge of other people. Lastly, Judge Rogers believes in communication. He believes it is important that leaders make it clear that everyone has a job to do, and that he believes he should communicate expectations to everyone. He also believes communicating appreciation and gratitude for followers and employees. I agree with this because with clear communication, followers will know exactly what to expect, and there are no blurred lines. As well, followers will know that they can be held up to these expectations, and they will also know they are appreciated. After the interview, I perceived Judge Rogers as very fair and professional. He always stays true to the rules, but demonstrates it in a professional and understanding way. He treats everyone with respect and understanding, and knows to do the right thing. I also perceived him as a leader who was open to learning from his past, his mistakes, and from his own followers. He talked a lot about how he learned so much from his secretary, Karen, when he first started out his legal career after law school. Judge Rogers was fresh out of law school, and his secretary, Karen, was about 30 years older than him, and she had been in the state attorney's office for several years. He told me that even though he was her boss, the reality is that she taught him so much, based on her years of experience in working with past successful prosecutors. Without learning from one of his followers, Judge Rogers would not have gained a lot of the knowledge he had today. He will never forget his hard work and all the effort he put in to where he is now. Judge Rogers really helped me understand leadership on a practical level. To me, this practical level is how I can improve my leadership in school right now and how I can be a leader when I'm in law school. He told me that honesty and integrity go hand in hand, and that it's important to say what you mean and do what you say. He gave the example of if a student didn't adequately prepare for a test and then fails it. He advised that the student should email the professor apologizing for the poor performance but vowed not to let it happen again. Although this probably wouldn't change the bad grade, it might give the student some credibility in the eyes of the professor, especially if the student greatly follows through with it. Lastly, he mentioned again addressing controversial issues. This can apply in school with group projects when someone isn't pulling their own weight. It's important to address this issue with the group and with the person instead of letting it carry on until the project is over. Overall, I greatly enjoyed interviewing Judge Rogers and will always remember the advice he gave me on leadership. Thank you.